Chris Moses here with Gospel Progressions University, and in this tutorial we're going to talk about the birthday song, but we're going to try to gospelize it. Interesting fact, the birthday song was illegal to sing publicly until up to I think 2017. In 2016, 2017 is when people were allowed to legally sing it. So you can check that out on Google. Now I'm going to take this song now, we're going to kind of flip it and just put a couple things to it, not too much. We're gonna play it the same way in the beginning, but during the second half of the song, I'm gonna show you some things, some tricks that you can actually use. I don't particularly care for the song, I never did, because of its weird chord structure, the way the chords are played, and maybe something that I'm not used to, but it's also hard to sing in a group. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this to kind of gospelize it, to bring some more interest to the song, but just a different color and flavor. Let's jump in. So I'm gonna play it for you in the key of C major, right? And it's just gonna go, the first chord is gonna be a F chord, all right? So, well, the first chord technically is a C chord, but we go to the F over the C. Happy birth, and then 5 chord, again, 5 chord, 1 chord. So that is Happy Birthday to You, just regular vanilla in the key of C. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to show you some of the changes and what my strategy is as to why I'm doing it. All right, so. Like I said, it's in the key of C major. So for the first part of the song, you probably can play that. You may know it. You can plainly see that I've changed a couple of things to the song. And I've done some gospelization or some gospel chord movements there. So simply put, since C major, when we get to the midway point of the song with the highest note, right? I know that I'm going to end up on an F chord. So that's the first thing you need to understand. If you're going to change chords and if you're going to try to add some gospel flair or any kind of flair to a song, you got to see where you're going. You got to know where you're shooting. If you go to a gun range, you don't want to shoot somebody else's target or just willy-nilly shoot, because you're liable to hurt somebody or somebody, God forbid, and they're going to, either arrest you or throw you out. But what you want to do is focus on your target chord. Your target is, in this case, it happens to be F, right? So it's F major. So how do we set that up? All right, now, in gospel, we have a 2-5-1 chord progression that we use, or 2-5-1 chord progressions. The way we would set that up is use a setup chord. We have a setup chord and a target chord. Your setup chord is going to be almost always a minor chord. So in this case, it's a minor 7th chord. Your target chord in this case is going to be a F chord, or an F major 7th chord, or some kind of major chord referring to F, right? So the way we would set this up, now we have Happy Birthday, right? So this is going to be a 2 chord. If we just scale this all the way down and made it really simple, it's just going to be G, B flat and D, a G minor, and it's going to be a F here, making it G minor 7. So it's a minor 7th chord, and there's going to be some type of 2 chord. If it's a 2 chord, it's a minor 7th chord. That means that it's going to be a 2 chord for F major. So this is our setup chord. We would use this to set up the chord progression. This starts the tension. This kind of kicks things off, okay? So if you want to go back to the gun analogy, this is, kind of cocking back the hammer, or the slide on the gun and saying, all right, let's set it up. So we have a G minor. All right, so now this is us beginning to fire off. So we have a G minor, and now we increase the tension even more. All right, and the tension now could be the explosion of I don't know why I want to use so many gun analogies, but this could be the explosion here. Okay, so we have this chord here, right? Keep your melody in mind. You have to keep your melody in mind, because a song like this that moves the way it does, if your melody is not on top, you could be playing just about anything, because I don't care for the song that much, to be honest, and it moves, the melody is difficult. It's hard to sing with a group, and it moves around a lot in a kind of not a conventional way that, at least that I'm used to. So as we do, all right, Happy Birthday, there's the same chord here. So you may say to yourself, why is he playing E? Then he said, a 2-5-1, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is a C dominant chord. So C dominant would be a C7 and back to a 1, which would be a major 7 chord. But what I did here was 2. We're still on a 5, but I omitted the C. But if you played it with the C, it would sound something like this. And we can still resolve it to F, all right? The F major chord. So what I did here was play a C7, instead of playing just a C7, because when I say a 2-5-1 in gospel, and I tell you this, we're scaling it down. Basically, that's going to be the basic quality of the chord. It's going to be a minor chord, a minor 7. The basic quality is going to be a C dominant chord. The basic quality is going to be a major 7 chord. But it doesn't mean that's exactly what we're playing. We're going to play a minor chord, but it could be some type of minor chord with some color added to it, maybe another note there, some kind of ninth or something else, or a 7th chord with some kind of altered chord. And normally when we're altering something, alter means to change. We're going to change the D, which would be the 9th, or maybe the 5, or something like that to kind of give us a different sound. So in essence, it's a minor, a dominant, and a major, but we can build on that. So we have the minor 7th, and then we go to the dominant 7th here, right? Because we can just play a regular C. But no, I want to make it nicer and more colorful. And we add the C sharp there, the D flat, right? So, and then now we do this. This here has an interesting sound, is because I set the chord up, right? So as soon as you hear, your ear hears this, and then hears this, it's not gonna go, no, that sounds weird. It's gonna say, it wants to resolve, all right, to here. So when I set this up, right, you know, I tell your ears, all right, now we're gonna, and you know the melody, so the harmony comes along with it. And then now you hear this, it's like, oh, that's nice. It's not outside the key, but it's outside the key enough because I'm not gonna play in this B flat, which now it sounds dissonant. But I'm still gonna resolve to F because we kind of came out the key a little bit. It would sound weird if it was not really in F. It's like, wow, that is a strong, like you're really in F. But we set this up in a way where it kind of deceives the ear. We're playing these chords to give it the color, but we're still in the key of C major. So you can get away with this sound, which would be known as F Lydian. F Lydian would just be F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And if you don't know what Lydian is, I have a video, I'll put it up here about exactly what it is, and you can check that video out if you're not familiar with that concept. So we have that here, and then we go to an F chord here, F major 9, and then we can do this. So we go from now a 2, 2, 5, 1 for F, and we go make F sort of a 5 chord to go to B flat, right? And you can do that in gospel. When I say 2, 5, 1, it's not always going to be a 2, 5, 1. It may be some kind of mutation, so to speak, some rendition of a 2, 5, 1. It may be a 2, 5. It may be a 2, 5 without the 1, or just a 5, 1. So you may have like this: 5. Sorry, wrong chord. Where am I? 5 and then 1. And then we go right back to C and we create the 2 now. And we're setting up the 2 as a minor chord. So if we look at 2 for the key of C major, it would be C, 1, 2, 2 chord. So it's going to be a minor chord, right? But an altered or changed minor chord. See, we have a minor 7, but we change this here. We add this. Okay. That is still technically a 2, 5, 1 chord. My pedal is slipping away. I'm sorry. That is technically a 2, 5, 1 chord progression, but in gospel we have this kind of chord progression. You'll hear this a lot. Flat 5, 5, and then a 1. All right, now so back to the setup chord here. All right, create the tension with the C chord, and then we resolve the tension with our target. This is where we want to go. And we kind of created another target chord by doing this, a setup chord by doing this to go to the B flat. Now we can set up another setup chord, which would be in the key of C, D, and still paying attention to the melody. Okay? And then we have this here. Technically, this is it's not really a F sharp or G and a C progression. It technically is still a 2-5-1 because I can play the chord like this. Rather, and I can do this. Right, it's here, so, and then change it here. I bring the F sharp up here, so I just play because you're a regular D7 chord. So remember, 2 minor, and then we can take this and then a 5 chord. All right, create the ultimate tension. And if you are familiar with this chord, this is called a minor, not a minor ninth. It's a 7 chord with a flatted 9. So the A goes to A flat, and then we resolve. And I do have another video on the flat 9 chords. And that's how we would set up that tension and release it. Again, your setup chord is going to be a 2 chord, a minor, some type of minor 7 chord. A minor 7 chord with probably a 5 being flatted, or just, yeah, we would say pretty much that. A minor 7 with a flat 5 or a sharp 4, the same note. All right, and then we move from there to a dominant chord. The point being here, if you want to set up a chord, and if you're sticking close to your melody, you know you're going to a 4 chord or a 5 chord, you can use a setup chord as a minor 7th chord, a 5 chord, a 2 chord or a second chord. A 2 chord is a minor 7th chord, a 5 chord as a dominant 7th chord, and then you could have a 1 chord as a major 7th chord. Now, if this video has helped you, you want to go check out gospelprogressionsuniversity.com. In fact, I'm going to be coming out with a brand new course that I'm going to be releasing probably in the next month or so. I'm working on it now, and it's called Black Gospel Keyboard for Beginners. I believe this is going to be a blessing for you, and for you to know when that's going to drop. Join the website. You can go ahead and sign up at gospelprogressionsuniversity.com. And as soon as this is dropped, as soon as I'm ready to release to the public, you'll be among one of the first to know. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.